Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, I'm once again taking a look at one of your designs that you recommended me on Mod.io. So yes, if you want me to review one of your ships, just send me it on Mod.io, there'll be a link to the description below. But for today, we are looking at a very compact, well-armed small fighter that's called the OCT.O Mini Atmosphighter, which is this lovely thing that I'm currently driving. So this is a very front-heavy fighter featuring 8 weapons, 6 gatling guns, 2 autocannons, and then atmospheric thrusters to boost you around while on a planet. It's powered by batteries, it's got 2 connectors with a medium cargo container in the middle for easy docking access, a camera on the front, and 2 spotlights to light up the darkness. During my testing of the ship, it did turn out that it's very good as a drone, which we'll see a bit later on. I set one up in the distance, and it behaves very well due to how it's been set up on this front-heavy design, with all the important stuff being behind everything. But anyway, pressing F10 and find this in spawn menu, the Mini Atmosphighter is 230 small blocks, using no DLC packs, no mods, and no scripts. We can see a nice lot of information about it, so this is a very small fighter. There's the specifications where it says no DLC packs, there's the autocannons connectors, plenty of thrust, plenty of power, and then there is some warnings about moving down on the planet, because it's not too fast with its upwards thrust. So simply give this a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a quick look around the outside, they'll go and test it out, drive it around for a bit, then I'll turn it into a drone and make it fight itself. So in the middle, we got ourselves a camera behind a window block, so we get a good view of what's going on ahead of us. To the left and right there is a bunch of gatling guns, autocannons, atmospheric thrusters, and 2 spotlights, which we put to very good use while using this vehicle. Surrounding all of that is our steel blocks in a black and a light blue colouring, and as we had to move around onto the side, this is all we can see. So we've got even more atmospheric thrusters for our left and right, some great use of the steel blocks just covering up the edges of those atmospheric thrusters to give it a bit of protection. And on the side here, we can see the side of our autocannon with the connection point being covered up by a piston head. There's the top and the bottom connector. And over to this section, we can see a couple more atmospheric thrusters to keep us off the ground. Moving around towards the very back, here is one of 2 batteries to give it a bit of power. Once again, with a window in front of it for some protection. Then all the way up to here, there's our gyroscope to move this thing around. And yes, looking down, we've got even more window blocks just to cover up the top of that battery so it's nice and protected. And looking all the way down, there's a couple of lights. There's our blue strip, and there is the cockpit at the very front. Moving all the way down underneath this thing, past all of this, down to here, this is what we get, putting my light on, there's another gyroscope, there's our connector, there's all of our thrusters, and there we go. That's a brief look around the outside of the Atmosphighter, and it looks fantastic with how it's all been set up. It's surprisingly compact considering everything on this. There's a lot of thrusters, more than many small fighters will usually have, and a lot more firepower. In fact, there's a medium cargo container on here with 2 connectors. It's also very good stuff for the long run. So yes, now what I can do is just grab hold of my character, come into this tab number 1. These are the controls we get, where number 1 is going to be to fire all of our 6 gatling guns all together. Number 2 is then for our autocannons to fire them on top, with number 3 being for our camera in the middle there, so we can get a good view of what's going on ahead of us. Coming out of that and pressing number 8, that's for our spotlights at the front to turn them on and off. Number 9 is for our atmospheric thrusters at the front, so we go to a cruise control, bring them back on. Onto tab number 2, then get an unknown block, but that is, if we hover over it, our docking lights, so I presume this would be for the lights on top to turn them on and off in case you don't need them. Yes, number 2 is for our connectors to lock and unlock it. Number 2 is for our atmospheric thrusters all around the ship to turn them on and off. Number 4 is for our batteries to auto recharge. Then onto tab number 3, there's the wave animation, and that's that for the controls. What we can do now is give it a little thruster test, and then we'll go and turn it into a drone and make it fight itself, which should be very good. During my testing video, they did very well against each other. It was almost like an elegant dance, with the occasional blast of gatling guns. We'll see that in just a moment. But yes, moving forwards, this is what we get. We've got some nice speed all the way around this, thanks to our atmospheric thrusters. Coming to a stop, we are even better, which is fantastic to see. But you never know when you need to do an emergency stop to save yourself from slamming into stuff, risk damaging the ship, risk damaging the base you're approaching, and all stuff like that. Moving left, and moving right, some fantastic with speed with that. Don't really see that too often in the small fighters. Moving up. There we go, we're slower than everything else. Then moving down, this is the only problematic part which is mentioned on the Steam Workshop page, where if you were to move down at high speeds, as you can see there, we are gaining a lot of speed thanks to gravity, then come to a stop, it's very slow and we will hit the ground. So there we are, we just have to be careful moving down, and just tap it occasionally, slowly move us over there. Yes, as for gyroscope controls, this is what we get. A nice little control over this, a little bit of meat so it's not too floaty, and generally what I prefer when it comes to a small fighter. Very nice stuff all the way around this. as for that, that's pretty much it. It's very self-explanatory with what it does, very useful in survival mode if you do want to have a heavily armed, very small ship to use in your world, very easy to store on a large ship or into a small base, and should do very well with a first point of contact if you are trying to go over to a pirate base just to scout out what kind of defenses they have, and well, maybe try and take it over. But yes, now what I can do is just bring up the HUD. We should have a few ships dotted around here. There's one right there. There's one behind there. So we're just going to fly all the way up to this section. So there it is right there in the camera. There is the modified version of this ship. We've slapped on a couple more atmospheric thrusters to stop the AI blocks from complaining. And of course just fix the small problem of moving down to make sure the AI blocks can actually handle it. And these are the modifications I made. So 2 thrusters move down, 3 more to move it up. Then below here is our 2 AI blocks, the movement and the combat one. And we'll just go and copy and paste this one. So we've got 2 of them right here. In fact, we'll make them face behind each other. There we go. Now we can hop into this, give it to the Space Pirates, and we can watch them fight each other. So selecting everything on this, coming over to here, Space Pirates, yes, hopping out. And I'm just going to put my auto dampeners on, and we'll just follow this one around. So there we go, that's not going to move around, move backwards, and it should, once it realigns itself, start blasting with all the guns. I might have forgot to add the guns to the actual AI block. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I'll check in just a moment if it doesn't fire. And it looks like it's not actually going to shoot, so I did forget to do that. That means I need to come to this, use all terminals. Oh, no, it was actually working. I did set it up, and there we go. The other one is now active and firing back. There's the autocannons, there's the gatling guns. They are now pummeling into each other. So like I said, they are very good at being drones to how it's been set up. We lost our cockpit at the front, we lost a few steel blocks, we lost a few atmospheric thrusters. But as you can see, it's still working, still flying around. And it will try to realign itself because it still has the gyroscopes underneath it. And it should be nice and protected for a nice long time. Quite a few blocks for it to get through. And it is going to slowly dip around, dance with each other, until they tear themselves to shreds. Make it a bit easier, what I will do, come in here, make this nice bright red, there we go. Find a steel block, that'll do quite nicely. And now that entire ship will be red, make it a bit easier to see. So there we go, the good guy in the distance just got a lovely volley all the way across it. Look at all those gatling guns just flying all the way across. And now that one has just popped in completely red. It looks like it's quite sad, it looks like it's going down. It might not have the thrusters to actually lift itself up now. I think that could have been the kill shot. Now it's trying to, very much trying to, keep itself off the ground. But there goes the other ship in the distance, it's now realigning itself. Any second now will come another volley. And it looks like this one's got slightly distracted by the Sparrow Speeder from the previous video. And well, that's going to cost it dearly in this fight. I should have removed that first of all, but it should have known better to go for the one that's shooting it. And yes, I think that is pretty much it for this video. So yes, it's a lovely little fighter ship that doubles well for a great drone that could protect your base, or just use as a little companion to follow you around in your world, just to protect you from those pesky drones that Space Pirates like to send. I will link to a description below if you wish to download and play around with it yourself. Highly recommend you do. And if you do wish me to check out one of your designs, just send me a message on mod.io. We'll link to a description below. And well, yes, I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.